Hi, I'm Melanie with Art by Melanie, resident artist with Paint Pixie. Today we're going to be doing a little mixed media project. One of my favorite products is the Meltdown, which is a liquid wax that can be used to seal your projects, but it's also great for decoupage. And we're going to be doing a little mixed media project. We're going to be using some book pages, a Stabilo pencil. Really quick and easy project, but let's go ahead and get started. I'm using a canvas pad here, which is basically sheets of canvas that you can separate. I've taken some tape, taping around all of my edges. This is painter's tape that I'm using here. This allows us to have a nice clean white edge after we finish the project. Once my taping was finished, I went in and applied a coat of glazed donut to the entire page. This gives us a good foundation for our upcoming steps. It doesn't take too long to dry, but I let this dry completely before moving on to the next step. Now to start decoupaging. I have both dictionary pages and book pages that I'm going to be using today, but you can use whatever you feel will work best with your piece, whether it's tissue paper, sheet music, maps, book pages. It's really endless once you get started. I tore them down into a little more manageable size to use on my piece, and I'm going to apply a thin layer of the Meltdown and go over the top as well of each sheet that I laid down, just tearing as I go, making things fit where I want them to be. Now I'm grabbing a Stabilo pencil and sketching out the figure of the bird that I want on this piece, giving him a big old tail and beak, some legs. And grabbing Mojito, going in and giving him a base coat. My paint is a little loose at this time. I've added some water just to make sure that it flows really smoothly. I added some French macaron to the top of the bird to start blending in a little bit darker shade, and this blends so nicely together, and I like the way it pops off the sheet without being too crazy. going to also add a little Bombini cocktail to the bird to create even more depth. Now he's coming to life a little bit. I like the layering process of getting some color on there and blending it in. Make him look all round and fat and sassy. Also adding a little of the mojito for his legs as well. Adding a wing. And I'm just keeping this really loose and free. He's not a perfect bird, he's just a fun bird. Adding a little of that Bombini cocktail right below the wing to kind of separate that. And a little below his body where it would be shaded. Back in with my Stabilo and outlining, making a few little marks on his legs. Just keeping him really loose and whimsical. We're going to add some fun flower shapes to the lower half of the canvas, and just real simple circles and stems, leaves, nothing crazy, keeping it all in that whimsical tone. Okay, let's add some fun color. I'm using a combination of candy apple, dreamsicle, and violet lemonade for the flowers themselves. Just started by filling in those circles, and I'll begin to blend in some different colors just to give a little bit of dimension on our cute little flowers here. Our leaves are done in sour apple, and I'm just again filling in my shapes, going over the lines. If you notice, when I use the Stabilo pencil, it blends a little bit with the paint, and I like that effect. That's kind of what I'm going for. I also use it to outline. It's a water-soluble pencil, and it really gives a cool effect, which I like. I went in with a little marshmallow just to add some lighter highlights on some of the flowers, not all of them. I want to keep them looking a little different. Just real quick petals with my flat brush. Little highlights on the tail feathers. I'm going in again with my Stabilo pencil, just adding those loose outlines in the stems and the leaves and the flowers, just to give it a little definition, but keep it loose, keep it free. We don't want to get too tight here. I decided he needed a little bit more in the background, so I grabbed some honeycomb and with my finger just started to add some dots. That will be some tall flowers in the background. I'm not worried about where they're placed. I just want a little bit of extra color in the area of the flowers just to make it feel real full down there. I decided to take that yellow, that honeycomb, up into his beak and his crown, just to bring it together a little bit, and I do like the way that looks. Some pink dots on his wing, or her wing maybe, and I like adding a little bit of that added detail. That's just with the tail end of the brush. I'm going in there and dipping into my pink, my violet lemonade. And it's time to unveil the piece. Since this is made of canvas, I don't worry about the tape tearing the paper, and it didn't, but using it creates such a nice sharp background. So this could be framed, or it could also be applied to a stretcher bar and made into a canvas. But I think it turned out so cute. I'm just going over with a little bit of the Stabilo to kind of bring those added flowers a little bit of texture. And there you have it, my little whimsical bird in a field of flowers.